There was a Zen master in China who was very famous and all over during Tang Dynasty. And he was invited to a huge gathering, maybe like 500 monks in a temple. And then he ascended the lectern, it's a high place, and then he sat there for about an hour and saying nothing. And he descended here. You can imagine what it's like in 1 hour, the Zen master saying nothing. So some of those participants complained, we expected you to say something about the Zen, and how come you didn't say anything? And then he answered, I am not a teacher of the scriptures. I am a Zen master. And the Zen has nothing to do with words, because Zen mind was transmitted from the Buddha through the first patriarch Mahakashyapa, second patriarch Ananda, through all the way, and like a 14th master is Nagarjuna, and so on. And then 28th master is Bodhidharma, who came from South India to China. And he himself sat in a cave for 9 years, saying nothing. For 9 years. Not just 1 hour he sat in the cave facing wall, saying nothing. If you want to hear something about the scriptures, you should have invited some master on the scriptures. But you invited me to show what the true face of Zen is. So what could I do? If I say something, it will be break the the serene calmness of the Zen mind. So I think I did the best sermon on Zen by sitting for an hour doing nothing. That was the response. I am going to do the same thing today. Well, but I am not a Zen master like that. I am a teacher of WonBuddhism. And WonBuddhism is different from the traditional Buddhism in the sense as we just read in the Grand Master Sotasan's saying, if you try to meditate, cultivate mind, staying away from adverse conditions, bustling daily life, only in the deep mountain valley, what good is there for the world? Look at, and the Buddha's original purpose was to deliver sentient beings suffering in the bitter seas of misery. And in the mountain valleys, there is no bitter seas of misery. You just eat what your believers bring and wear the clothes they bring. You're doing nothing. But look at the people working hard, rural and the urban areas. They are working so hard. Their life is not easy, very difficult. And if their mind is not calm, and their mind is disturbed all the time in the trying situations, that will deepen the deep sea of misery. And one way of mitigating the pain and the suffering in the world is somehow to show the way by which they can keep their mind serene, calm and serene and bright in any adverse conditions. Of course, this is easier said than done. It's like if you go to Taekwondo or Karate, you start with the basics, and it takes quite a long time until you get a black belt, right? Black belt. The enemy or your opponent, if he has a black belt, it will be very difficult to knock him down unless you have the same power, right? Look at the world. Surroundings, your co-workers, sometimes obnoxious or stupid and so on, greedy and so on. And you have to live with them. Sometimes they make you really unhappy, sometimes even insulting you, sometimes making you angry and so on. How can you protect yourself? How can you keep the calmness, the peace of mind in such situations? That's not easy. So simply because you have attended a Dharma meeting, that doesn't mean you have attained like a black belt to fight those difficult situations. It will take a long, long time. Long, long time. And how do you know that? Well, put yourself in a trying situation, adverse condition in your daily life. Your co-workers sometimes. Co-workers. They are not Buddhas. They are greedy, stupid sometimes, selfish, and then they are not very kind to you, And how? But you have to live with them. You cannot kick them out. You have to live with them, and then you need a spiritual power, like a black belt in karate or taekwondo, a mind which won't be moved or disturbed in any trying situations. That's what you need. That's all those people living in the urban area, rural area, are struggling. They need that mind. Unfortunately, even though there are 1,000 Buddhas standing to help him or her, they can't do it. It all depends you, how you cultivate, strengthen your spiritual power. The Buddhas can show you, look, you do this and do that, but it's like playing the piano too. There could be a good piano teacher, right? He may or she may spend many hours to explain how you move your fingers and so on, but it doesn't grow. You don't become like a world-class pianist by simply listening and so on. It takes a long time. So in Buddhism too, some practitioners have reached a very high level of practice. The wisdom of those practitioners are very bright, even though they are all the time hiding it, somehow blocking it. But when they use it, they can see things very clearly, sometimes things which are far away from you. So you know what I am trying to say? You have to grow in Buddhism. And in WonBuddhism, we have 6 Dharma stages. Elementary faith. Second is unwavering faith in the Dharma. Once you enter unwavering Dharma, you have now started for the Buddhahood, the way toward the Buddhahood. Until that time, you haven't started yet. If your faith in the Dharma is shaky, wobbling, you go nowhere. It's like somebody go to a taekwondo